I'm with the assistant Kodza. On this occasion, we will discuss material explanation about architecture vision and business architecture. The material that will be discussed is about TOGAF concept, preliminary phase, architecture vision, and business architecture. First, let's discuss the concept of TOGAF. TOGAF is a framework aimed at enterprise architecture. TOGAF can be used freely by companies or organizations who want to implement enterprise architecture in the company or organization. TOGAF was also developed by members of the open group working in the architecture forum. About domain architecture, in TOGAF have four domains intended to support TOGAF standard. They are business architecture, application architecture, data architecture, and technology architecture. About ADM approach to TOGAF, in the following figure, it is a phase of TOGAF that provides a taste and iterative process for developing architecture. Next, about artifacts in TOGAF. Based on the TOGAF artifacts maps image above, TOGAF artifacts are divided into three groups, namely one catalog. Catalog is an artifact that contains a list of building blocks. Next, matrix. Matrix is an artifact that shows interrelationship between building blocks. And diagrams is an artifact in the form of graphic or image of building blocks. For the next subject will be explained by next assistant.
Okay, thanks. Next, I will be the assistant with code DZUR. I will explain about the preliminary phase. Preliminary phase is the initial stage of preparation and initiation need to create architecture for a company or organization in the form of activities that explain where, what, who, why, and how. The goal is for companies to master architectural management and transformation. Next is output of the preliminary phase. One of the artifacts for this in the preliminary phase is the principle catalog, which contains an explanation of the principle needed by a company in carrying out its business process, starting from business, data, application to technology that can be used as a basis for design enterprise architecture. Catalog metamodel entities consist of name, statement, rationale, and implication. Next is Phase A, Architecture Vision. The scope and objectives of the request for architecture work are factors that influence the architecture vision stage. The sequence of steps in the architectural vision, as well as the time when the stage must start and end, should be adjusted to the situation faced in accordance with the architectural governance established. Next is the output of the architecture vision. The architecture vision have two output. The first is being the matrix, which has stakeholder map matrix. This matrix serves to identify stakeholders for the involvement with the architecture, influence on involvement, and key questions, problem, or important matters that must be addressed by the architecture framework. The second is diagram. The diagram have two diagrams. The first is value chain diagram, a diagram to classify, analyze, and understand the activities that form the value of a product or service and are used to create value for the customer in achieving a competitive advantage. Next is the solution concept diagram. The solution concept diagram will be explained by the next assistant.
Next, OBJ Assistant Code MERR will continue the explanation of the solution concept diagram. Solution concept diagram is a high-level depiction of the purpose solution to fulfill a need or problem, used to communicate with stakeholders and as a basis for further solution development. For example, a case study is given that discusses the insurance company Archisurance, which is a merger of three independent companies. Over time, various problems arise such as low-cost competitor entering the market and requiring significant new IT investment costs to remain competitive. This is a depiction of the solution concept diagram approach 1 with existing conditions, where there is a business function handle claim which contains a series of business process. The business process is triggered by the existence of a business event claim received. The business process is supported by various application services, and each application service is supported by the application component, and each application component is supported by the existence of a device. This is a depiction of the solution concept diagram approach 1 with targeting condition, where there is a simplification on the application component section and the addition of device to overcome problems in the case study. Next, discuss the solution concept diagram approach 2, which consists of four layers. The first layer is channel that represents the various ways in which the organization access existing data. The second layer is front office, includes systems that are directly involved in interaction with customer and can include the business process layer. The third layer is middle office, bridges the front office and back office layer, and the last is back office, consists of system used for internal function of the organization. This is an example of a depiction of solution concept diagram approach 1, which consists of four layers. Next are the notation used to depict the solution concept diagram. All I can say for the next one will be explained by the assistant on that. Thank you.
Okay, then I with the assistant code ITAA will continue the material about business architecture. Business architecture is the second phase in TOGAF ADM, which describes the needs of the company in carrying out its business function to achieve the desired targets, including how business objectives and their interaction with each other. With business architecture outputs, namely Goals Objective Requirement Catalog, Goal Objective Requirement Diagram, Business Footprint Diagram, Actor Role Matrix, and Gap Analysis. Next is the Goal Objective Requirement Catalog. This catalog explains the relationship between goals, objectives, and requirements that must be met by the company. Next, there is a Goal Objective Requirement Diagram. Goal Objective Requirement Diagram is a diagram used to explain the relationship between business objective, organizational units, business function, and services, as well as mapping this function to technical components that provide the required capabilities. Like the simple diagram next to it, where there are stakeholders that describe the role of the organization, then support by driver, that describe the condition of the company to determine the goals that need to be achieved. Then, from this driver, which is supported by assessment, as a description of the company's situation analysis. After that, the derivative here is a goal as the goal of the final state that the company wants, and also support by requirement as a need to achieve the desired goal. Next, you can see here are the notation used to create a goal objective requirement diagram. That's all I can say. For future materials will be explained by the practicum assistant on duty.
Okay, next will be explained by the assistant code MENN. A business footprint diagram illustrates the relationship between goals, organizational units, business functions, and services. It maps these functions to technical components that can deliver the required capabilities. From the requirements that have been mapped on the goal objective requirement diagram, the business footprint diagram can be mapped as follows. Starting from the business event, claim received, then a business function, namely handle claims, which contains 5 business processes from capture information until pay claim. From the processes can be mapped application service that can be provided, such as scanning and printing. And then the application service can be realized with 3 application components. Each of these application components is supported by system software and devices. These are the notation that used for business person diagram: requirement, business actor, business role, business collaboration, business interface, business process, business function, business interaction, business event, business service, business object, contract, representation, product, application service, application component, device, system software, serving, triggering, and realization. For the next will be explained by the assistant in charge.
My name is Prima Udina Wibowo with assistant code SKUY. I will explain about actor or role matrix, role and responsibilities of each position holder and related parties in carrying out the company's business activities. There are four roles are ACI. Responsible are stakeholders carry out the task. Accountable A, stakeholders who are responsible for the success of the task. And consulted C, stakeholders who are asked for opinion on the task. And then the last, informed I, stakeholders who are given information on the task. And in the right chart, at least one responsible must always be present and there must be one accountable. Next, gap analysis. Gap analysis is technique to perform validation related to architecture development. There are some types of gaps. The first, something that is not needed and causes damage, so it's removed, and something that is not appropriate, then it's replaced. Something that is already owned has no change, and something that is part of what is needed, that it needs to be added, and something that is cluttered needs to be redesigned and replaced, and the last, something that has good and bad condition that need to be selective in improving it. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.